In this video, we are going to automate entire user onboarding process by using the n8n. Let me show you how this entire workflow will work and how we are going to automate all the process. Let me open Tally form. This is the Tally form that we are going to use. So as a customer that we need to fill this Tally form, then we are going to trigger this entire workflow. That's how we are going to get the customer details. Let me execute this workflow. Now I'm going into the Tally form. Let me submit this form. Now we can see that this is going to trigger by automatically. We are going to save data into the superbase. Then we are going to check the profile was completed or not. And then we are going to send a couple of reminders to the customers to complete their profile. Then we are going to send all the notifications to our admin whether the profile was completed or not and how many times we send and a reminder emails. All the things was by done automatically without doing any manual work. Now, let me explain how this entire workflow will work. As I showed you before that user will submit this kind of form. Maybe in your case, it might be a Google Sheets or any kind of other forms. Whenever user submitted, we are going to get the data into the webhook. We are going to see that again it stop listening. Now, this is the data we are going to get from that form. Now, let me unpin this once. Let me pin the data. Now, what I'm gonna do was I'm just gonna execute this node. We'll see do we had this data or not. Let me stop this file. I just wanted to explain this entire workflow, and that's what I'm gonna do now. Let me check this one, and we got convert data in this webhook through the tally form and whatever how the customer was submitting all the details. So it could be any kind of form. That's how we are going to get all the data. Then we have, after getting the data, we have this sit node. Let me open that sit node. Before that, how we are gonna get that data? We have these two kind of URLs. One is the test URL and one is the production URL. Now we are testing the manually. So I just given the test URL into this in this form. Let me open this tally. How we can give. This is the our form. In the integrations, we integrated with the webhook, and that's how we are going to get data into the n8n. Now, the second node we had was the set node. In the set node, we are going to glean that data, whatever data we have through the webhook. For example, we are getting user ID, name, email, company, job title, profile completed, then sign up date, status was active, and the reminder count was the 0. We are getting all the clean data. Let me execute this once again. And I don't know whether we are going to get the data or not. We got the data. So from web to we got the data into the edit fields, and then the third node we had here was that save users to the database. And this is the candidate details. So the name was the Tim, and this is the email, the company was the zip. These are the details we had. And let me open this Superbase. Here we already had one customer. Now we are going to save the next customer data into the Superbase. Let me exclude duplicate key values violated. Might be it was already there. It was already there. Now for that, what I'm going to do was let me edit this one because it's not going to save. I implemented unique key, a kind of primary key. Two things was the depend, but it's not going to allow any kind of duplicates. It's checking each and everything based on the ID. Now I'm going to re-execute this now. Now we can see that the row was going to come here. And before that, let me open this now and say we are just inserting the data into the PostgreSQL, and we are using the Superbase. And Superbase is built on top of the PostgreSQL, and PostgreSQL was a kind of SQL. It's a database. We can store the data, delete the data, and update the data. We can do whatever the things we want by using the SQL. Even the writing SQL queries also. And the next thing we have, we are going to send a welcome email. We're going to send a welcome email that I just wanted to execute this step, and we'll see how we are going to send a welcome email. And let me open that. We sent an email to the customer that, uh, and this is not the one that we need to open this one. And I just wanted to open this latest one because this is the one like, hi Tim, thank you for signing up and we're excited to have you on board. Please complete your profile to get more out on the platform. That means we are trying to say, our team was already provided the details, whatever the basic details he provided, but we want more additional details from him. It could be any kind of details, and we need from him. So that's how these are kind of reminders we are sending. Now we are going to wait one day. Just we are going to wait one day, and of course here exactly we're not waiting. We're just waiting the 5 seconds on the time, but in reality, we are going to wait one day, and then we had the again the PostgreSQL node. Let me use this. And in that, we had a condition. And based on that email, we are going to check this status. Let me check profile status one. And it's going to provide whether the candidate, whether this customer was already existed or not. And the customer was already existed based on the email ID. And next, this is the step we are going to talk about it. And it's going to check the profile completed day one. And after the day one, based on that profile completed was the false, and we are going to check if the profile completed is true, then it went with the true. But it was given the false branch. Let me show you how it given the false branch because the profile completed was false. The profile completed was false. That's the reason it went into the false norm. It went into the false node. Then what we are going to do was we are going to send a reminder email one. And that's how it's going to work. Let me show you the thing here. And this is the one that the customer name was the name and the job title was product engineer. The profile completed was false. If the profile completed was true, then we are not going to send any kind of emails to the customer. This is what exactly it doing this. If not, of course, we can do same thing in the PostgreSQL node itself, but I added extra node here. So it's checking exactly what we want. And then after false, we are going to send the reminder email one. Same. And this is the message how we are sending. And the day is trying to complete your profile. And this is the candidate email. Now we send, and here we are going to get that this is the first reminder email and hide in we notice your profile, complete your profile because it's still incomplete. And this is what exactly we are sending. And now we have update reminder one. For example, here in this superpage node, the reminder count was 0 because we need to update this as 1. Wait, why? Because we already sent that reminder email was 1. For that, let me open this node, how I set up. This is the table just and based on the ID. And we are going to update reminder count was the 1. We just done that and it's going to update reminder count was from 0 to 1. And before that, I'm going to show you the next thing was we are going to wait next 4 days because the profile was not completed it and whatever we are requesting to the customers and the customer was not doing exactly, whether it could be the payment, whether it could be the provide the details, whether it could be any kind of thing. And this is the one that reminder bound was still 0. We think we just need to refresh one and it's going to check. And this is the 4th day that it's in a 4th day. Let me open what exact and how I set it up. In the 4th day also we're checking based on that email. And we're going to find out that this is the second time that we are going to check whether this profile was completed or not. And this is the 4th day that the user was not completed at anything. Let me open this. Let me execute this state. And it went into the false batch. That means profile was not completed yet. Let me show you. Let me show you that profile was still false and we just sent a reminder 1. Now, what we are going to do was, the next step was, we are going to send the another email to the customer, same as like the previous one. Let me execute this step. I'm on getting to the customer email and this is the one, your profile is still incomplete. This is the final reminder. Of course, this is the final reminder we are giving to the customer. Let me open this. and update reminder count too, same as like that, because we just send the reminder count as 2. We are gonna update in the super base, and here we can see that reminder count is going to change from 1 to 2. I'll show you that after. Now we have to wait until 11 day. Of course, we're not waiting exactly again the 11 days. This is the 11th day exactly. We are going to wait that 11th day, wait until day 11. Then what I'm gonna do was I'm gonna check that final profile check. Same as like that previous one, but let me show you how this gonna work. Execute this step, and we are going to get that customer details. Now, here, the third time we're gonna check whether the profile is completed or not. That means good the same step. Still, the profile was not completed, so it went into the false branch. And we are calculated. We are using here the code node, and the code node was we just given some kind of code, and it's going to calculate like the days, the hours, like however we wanted to see, like how many days the user was signed up, and still he did not complete his profile. Let me execute this one. And it's not going to give exact time, of course, because we did not waited those many days, right? From 1 days to 10 days, 11 days, or something like that. So it's just giving that uh, day sign up was the 0. And the next was update user status to inactive. And we just send the reminder count to the 2, and the status was active still. Now, what we are going to do was we are going to update the status was inactive. The email based on the status was going to inactive because the customer wants not active and he's not responding to our email. So we are going to send an we are not going to send anything. Here we're just updating from active to inactive. Here it's going to change to the inactive. And we're almost done. Let me zoom out. And here what we are going to do, we are going to update our admin that this is the candidate that he's signed up, but he's not completed that whatever the process was there, whether it could be onboarding process, whether it could be payment process, that could be anything. We just notify the admin, as well as we are just to go now notifying in the Slack also. We're done. Let me open the Slack. And this is the one that the user has not completed the profile, and username was the team rank, something like that, and automated with this n8n pause. That shouldn't be there. For that, what I'm gonna do was I'm just gonna option to the include link to the web pro. I'm just gonna turn it off. Now again I'm going to exclude this step. Now this time we are not going to see that automated with this n8n workflow. There is nothing here below that. Now also we did that notified to our admin, and this is the one. And admin, a user has not completed profile, and user details was these are the dates. That's perfect. Now this was, it should be inactive. I don't know why this, of course, how inactive was there, and we send the reminder on was 2. Now we are almost done entire explanation in this project. Now there is one thing was incomplete from our side. We just need to see that what if the profile was completed, then is our workflow should stop at some place, because we're not allowed to keep on sending reminder emails to the customer. For that, what I'm gonna do was let me open this. For example, after day 1, if the profile was completed true, then what we are going to do was, let me come here. I just wanted to put true here and come back. Then here, what I'm gonna do, check profile status day 1. Now in the if node, we are going to check exactly that how the profile was completed or not. Now we just change it from false to true here. Now we can able to see that it went only through 2 branches. That means the profile was completed. For example, the profile was, if is true, then it will become true. Like, so this is a basic conditions. I don't need to explain here. And this is now we are going to stop that entire thing, because we are not going to send any kind of emails to the customer, because we got that the customer was profile was already completed. Now we are going to do notify our admin again into the Slack as well as the Gmail. This time, we are going to execute this step. We just notified our admin in the Gmail as well as the Slack. And let me show you how we got that. Let me refresh it once. I don't know why we got. Let me open this again. Profile completed after day one. So a user has successfully completed their onboarding profile, but we didn't get many details here. Let me set up the things properly. We took directly. We need to then in the edit fields. So what I'm gonna do was I just gonna enter these values so we can see that exactly what kind of notification we are giving. So name was the team. The email was this one. The company The company was there, and the next thing was the job title. The job title was that product manager, and status was completed. And this is what we are going to send. And of course, we need to turn off this toggle button. Now I'm gonna send it again. Now we can see a user has successfully completed their onboarding profile, name details, and the status was completed. And based on that, they are going to they are not going to send any kind of emails to the customer. Let me show you the another email also that we need. We reminded that our admin, we are not going to send any emails because the customer was already submitted, but I'm not seeing any email. That's what I'm gonna check here. Okay, we gave into the another email. Let me open this. Hi, admin. A user has successfully completed their profile and this kind of details, and no further onboarding reminders are required. Perfect. Yeah. So now what we are going to understand was that the same thing was going to happen. For example, now the user was completed after day one of the reminder. What if the user was not completed even though we sent in a reminder one? Then it's going to check again. For example, the user was completed after sending the reminder email to, and let me check here once after sending the reminder email to, a lot of things was going to happen. It's already was there. So I'm not out. The execution may be different path because it was already there. It was already there. For example, the the profile completed was false. The profile completed was false. And what I'm gonna do was let me execute this again. Now we're going to do the true, still true. I don't know why. Okay, we need to go back. Check keep again this check profile status. Now I'm going to check it out. Now it went into the false node. And the same thing was going to happen again, sending the reminder email one and reminder updating the reminder one, and all the things was going to happen. After sending the reminder email though, for example, see what I'm trying to explain here was we're doing entire thing. I'm explaining entire thing here was like 10 to 20 minutes, 30 minutes somewhere between. But when this project was gonna be in the production, that's a lot of days. So many days was like entire automation was in the active. It's going to run in the background entirely. And I cannot show how the things was gonna happen in that. Now what I'm trying to say here was that after a couple of days, after giving the second notification, maybe the customer was going to fill on my going to pay their payment or like they are going to do the required details, whatever we want. Then we are going to check that after 2 days, here we are going to say that profile completed was true because after giving the second reminder, the customer was fill the all the details sent us. Now that's when we are going to realize that the user was completed on the details, his provider on the details, he paid the amount or some of the any kind of other additional details when after sending the second reminder email. And that's when it's went into the tow branch. And again, we are going to give the same kind of notification to the our admin and our admin in the email as well as the Slack. Same as like that, we are going to give the notification, but we are just changing the subject that user was completed their profile after sending the reminder email to. And that's how this entire project was gonna be done. And I just wanted to explain something about this project. And this is the project that we can able to implement any kind of business. That's especially when we are expecting something from the user, something from the customer, whether it could be the payment, whether it could be the additional information, whether it could be a kind of process they have to do to get into our business. And that's when this kind of automation systems was gonna help into the companies or into the businesses is going to save a lot of time, because we are not doing anything manually here. Whenever the user fill any kind of form, that could be a kind of WhatsApp channel. Might could be there could be a different kind of channels. For example, if we have any kind of ads in the Facebook, for example, it's Instagram, and when the customer was there and when she says this kind of forms, and they're gonna fill those kind of like whatever the required details was there, and they're gonna fill, and this entire automation was going to run in the background, and we are going to get the data through the web, and we are going to clean the data, then we are going to save the data into the superbase. Now whatever we see on the results here, the same thing was going to happen when the customer was filled the form. And that's how this project was going to work. And I'll come up with the another video. I don't know again how many days that I'm going to take. I think the last video was I posted about the Shopify video. That's my fourth video, and it said that there is in a 3 to 4 days of the gap, and there is in a one video pending related to the Shopify chatbot, especially that I'm working on that. And when it's ready, then I'm going to post it on the YouTube. It's all about the Shopify chatbot, how that was gonna help in the customers to the customers 24 into 7. That's gonna live inside the Shopify website as a chat widget, and I'm gonna talk, and we're going to know about that entire project in the coming videos. And this is all about today user onboarding, email sequence, or like email automation. And I will come up with the next video. Until then, see you.